Wagwan goodies, welcome back to my channel. It's your good girl Adore, and yes guys, your girl is officially back on camera and doing better than ever. Yes guys, I know I have been gone for a while now. I do sincerely apologize for that, but life has been lifing and it is summertime, so much has been going on. Things are still going on in my life, so yeah, your girl had no time to focus on YouTube whatsoever, but I am back guys, and when I tell you I have a juicy and long awaited story time set for y'all. This story time is very overdue and it's going to be quite long. We'll have to, you know, break up this story into like parts. I'll probably do at least 3 parts to this story time, how long it is, and that's how much stuff happened. So as y'all can see, this story time will be about my ex. For these that did not know me, when I first started my channel and I used to make my Jamaica vlogs and stuff, this is the ex that I will be speaking on from my Jamaica vlogs. So if you guys are OG, you know, goodies, you guys know those vlogs. As y'all know, if you check my channel out, you don't see those vlogs anymore, and while I tell this story, you guys will understand why you don't see those videos anymore. That's besides the point. So X from my Jamaica vlogs, he has recently passed away. He actually passed away last month. I know for some that are new to my channel or like just coming back to my channel, you guys are probably like, what the hell, how the hell you could be so insensitive, how you making a story time about the man and he just passed away. Y'all, I honestly was not planning to make this video, especially so soon. I did want to make this video for a while now, but I never wanted to make it this soon. I feel like I've been so disrespected, and I've been having people come at me so hard just for the live that I did. And if you guys want to see the live, it is on my channel. Yeah, if you guys want to check out the live, you guys can. And in the live, I basically explained what happened, because a lot of people saw that I posted him onto my Instagram story. So if you guys are not following me on Instagram, y'all should, because that's how y'all will know like what's going on and stuff. I did post some stuff on Instagram showing my ex, and you know, a lot of people had questions, people that didn't know like who he was, even though many people knew exactly who he was, but there were some people that didn't know who he was. So I just decided to make a live and just explain what's been going on for the people that didn't know. So within making that live, I did not know it would cause such a controversy. So his people, his family, his Germsey family, and the concubines and the girls that I guess he was dealing with, I guess they caught wind of the video and got really offended by me speaking on his death and stuff. They all decided to come at me. Like I said, if you guys want to see the live, you guys can, because it is on my channel. Yeah, if you guys watch the live, I really didn't say much. I spoke on stuff that is true, and I guess they didn't like it, so they decided to come disrespect me and call me all types of names, send me all types of voice notes. And when I say these people were going in like
but you know want to come across his funeral, bitch, you could have never come at the funeral there, because the whole of girl them when they would look better than you. All the mother and her daughter when did a fuck.
they were literally harassing me on my channel, sending me voice notes, making stories, even calling my mother, cussing my mother. We'll have all the receipts in the video so y'all can see for yourselves. So as y'all can see from those little screenshots and stuff that I've shown y'all, these people are just disgusting human beings, and they have just no respect. They are the reason why my ex was the way he was. They were definitely his enablers. You know what? I said, okay, since everyone want to come disrespect me and call me out of my name, want to disrespect my family, then I don't care. My ex has recently passed away, but the stuff that man put me through, and even the stuff that I still have to deal with even while he's dead, shows the type of person he was and how secretive and deceitful he was. At this point, I really don't care. I am going to share my story with y'all, and who don't like it, come beat me. And also to show how disgusting these people are and this family is, Ask My Girl Single Mom Life on YouTube. I will have her video linked below. He also had a terrible and traumatic experience with one of his cousins. So from even listening to her story, guys, you will know what kind of family this is. The people in this family are just a germsy set of people. Yeah, guys, don't only listen to me. There's other people out there that had to experience just as much pain and distress as I did. So before we get into this video, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and do not forget to turn on your post notifications so you guys are notified when your good girl posts. Also, do not forget to follow me on all my social medias, which is my Instagram and my Twitter, and I might add my TikTok also, because you know TikTok is that girl right now, and I might have to start popping up on TikTok too. Yeah, guys, I will have all of that linked down below. Yeah, let's just jump into this story time. So how I met my ex. So I met my ex back in 2019. I think it was either March or May. I don't even know, but I know we met in 2019. At this time in my life, I was going through a lot. You know, I was young. I think I was probably like 20 at this time. So, you know, I was just trying to figure out my life, trying to figure out what I want to do next, and just all types of stuff. I received a DM. So I received a DM from my ex, and you know, typical DM, when guys are trying to talk to you, they start saying all types of sweet nothings, trying to get your attention and all this stuff. I was just not interested, because at the end of the day, from looking at his profile, I just knew already that he was from Jamaica. He was a yard man, and you know, me for the yard man. And he tried so hard to like convince me that he wasn't like the typical yard man, but obviously once you guys hear the rest of the story, he definitely he fit all those stereotypes. But anywho, let's not jump too quick into the story now. He was very persistent. He would always message me and DM me, and at one point it got so annoying that I had to literally block him and stop. And at this time, I think Instagram just added the calling feature on Instagram, so he would try and call me through my Instagram, and it became so annoying I had to block him. Also, I currently was talking to somebody else in the city that I was in, so you know, to me, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna go and deal with some boy that's miles away when I have somebody here. So summertime comes of 2019, and I guess he made a new profile. I don't know what he did, but he found a way to get back in contact with me. I was no longer talking to the guy that I was talking to back in like March and May. He was another story, but he wasn't really anybody serious either. He was just somebody I was entertaining for the time. So he gets back in contact with me, and he's continuously trying to message me, and I'm like, wow, this guy is very persistent. Like, he is not giving up. So in my head, I'm like, you know what, let me see what the boy wants. Since he want to talk to me so bad, let me just see what he wants. So me and him start talking, and you know, he seemed nice, he was attractive. I was like, oh, this guy is cute or whatever. So that one conversation ended up becoming me and him talking like every day. Like I said, I knew he was from Jamaica, so in my head I was like, yeah, I'm not taking this boy serious, because first of all, he's miles away. Time goes on, you know, me and him start really talking and getting to know each other. And like I said, because he was Jamaican and miles away, I really did not see him as anything serious. To be honest, he was just somebody good to talk to, and you know, he was entertainment for the time being. So as time went on, you know, I really started to like enjoy speaking to him. Like, we really got along really well. Like, it got to the point where like we started sharing, you know, personal stuff about each other. Like, we just started bonding. And because I was going through something and he was also going through something, well, he had like a very traumatic life, and like just the stuff that we would talk about, like, it really brought us together, speaking to each other. And you know, his main thing used to be his things, like his family issues and like stuff that would go on at home, and specifically it would be his relationship with his mother. Within speaking to him, the stuff he has told me about his mother was just horrible, like so horrendous. I remember when he told me how the stuff that she would say to him, and as time went on, I got to see it. I actually got to witness it, like the actual, you know, mental abuse that she would put him through. Locked him up when he was like 14, how she caused the police to come and, you know, drag him out of bed when he was like 14-16 years old. She did a lot of really messed up things to him. It made him the person that he grew up to be, you know. And, you know, he always used to tell me how he never felt loved by his mother. It really touched me, because I don't know what it's really like to have a non-loving parent, because my mother loved me. Father and my mother, they would do anything. They would do anything for me. So to hear stuff like that really, you know, touched my heartstrings, because I don't know what it's like. I did feel a lot of sympathy towards him. And as time went on, you know, even my mom started speaking to him here and there, because my mom would notice that, you know, I'm always talking to this guy and she wanted to know like everything. So, you know, I tried to tell her about him, and like, you know, within talking to him, sometimes he would say hi to my mom. You know, things just became like really cool between me and him, and we got really close. But knowing what I know now, I realized that was all manipulation just to get what he wanted from me. So even though he had a lot of family issues and, you know, problems at home, he would still have this like love-hate relationship with his mother. As much as he would like complain about her, he would still have this love-hate relationship with her. He used to always like try and like, you know, show me her, and I think we ended up like, I think she ended up following me on Facebook. And I guess once she followed me on Facebook, his other family slowly started to follow me on Facebook, because I guess he would like tell them about me and stuff. Yes, like I said, I was not expecting this, because he was just supposed to be the little Jamaican boo thing. I was not looking for nothing serious. But, you know, he was trying to push it on me real quick, real hard. So months go by, and you know, we're still talking. After a few months, I later then met his brother one time, like accidentally met his brother, because his brother lived in the same city as me at some party. And you know, I called him and was like, oh, I saw your brother and this and that, and like, you know, made my little introduction or whatever. His grandmother came back from Jamaica because she visited Jamaica, and I guess he bought me stuff in Jamaica and gave it to his grandmother to give back to me. So I ended up meeting his grandmother after like probably 3-4 months of speaking to him. I kind of grew to really respect him, or like, you know, fall for him, because his grandmother spoke so highly of him. She used to always say, oh, how much he was her favorite, and you know, how when she's in Jamaica, like, he's her best grandson, how much he takes care of her, how much, like, you know, he handles her money, and he's the only person that she could trust her money around, and all this stuff. And guys, remember what she said. He is the only person she could trust having her money around. That would be a very key component to this story time. Regardless of, you know, the stuff that he would tell me about, like certain family members and stuff, but he used to always speak really highly of his grandmother, and his grandmother used to always speak really highly of him. And that also played a big part into why, you know, I started to fall for him. So now I'm starting to feel like, okay, whoa, this was not supposed to go this way. We were supposed to just start talking. He was just supposed to be someone nice to talk to, but this is starting to look real serious, because now I'm meeting the grandmother, I'm meeting the brother. You have me talking to your mother. As much as he talks so much shit about his mother, he still, you know, I spoke to his mother things, and he spoke to my mother also. So it was becoming like, it was starting to turn into something serious. So I'm at this point where I'm like, okay, now I think it's time for us to actually be around each other now, just to see where things go, because, you know, we've been talking for months, and you know, I'm tired of talking. I knew he was tired of talking also, so I was like, you know, well, I won. So before even planning this trip, he always reassured me that once I'm in Jamaica, I'll be good, because he knew how to drive and he had his place. So anytime I would come to Jamaica, I would be straight, like he said. But another thing that he never really, like, as much as we spoke, he never really showed me his house. Or like, he would always be in his room. Like, he would be in his house, but never like show me the full house. So, you know, I never got a full view of what his house looked like. But because he would just always be like either in his room or outside of his house, you know, I thought, okay, it doesn't look that bad. Like, his house don't look that bad. And like I said, my ex, he did live in Kingston, so I know what it's like. I know how it's like in Jamaica. I know not everybody has the luxury life. I was not the type to judge, because I do have a lot of family in Jamaica also, because my family comes from Jamaica, so I know what it's like. But I have family that live really nice in Jamaica, so, you know, I wasn't really used to certain lifestyles. But, you know, I was not in no place to judge anybody. He would show me his house. I was like, okay, it doesn't look that bad. I've seen worse, or so I thought. Be like, girl, how you going to Jamaica for a man that you don't know, and going up in his house and you don't even know him? Yes, guys, we did brave, very brave. 21 at this time, so I was really young and naive and True that I have so much family in Jamaica. In my head I was like, if the boy was really gonna do anything to me, I know who to call, and my family would pick me up in a heartbeat. So I wasn't really scared. Plus I go to Jamaica so much that like I kind of know my way around. But it was going to be my first time being in Kingston, because usually when I go to Jamaica I'm usually like in Montego Bay or Ochi or Old Harbor. But this was going to be like my first time as like an adult actually going to Kingston, because I have been to Kingston, but this was like when I was a child, like a little girl. So obviously I'm not going to remember anything from those times or anything. I was just like, you know what, let me see what it's like, because I know Kingston is a big city in Jamaica, so you know, why not. Also guys, another reason why I even fell for my ex is because he would tell me all the right things. Very, very, very good talker. So when we used to speak, he used to always make it seem like, you know, he was always hardworking, because he did know how, like, he used to work in construction, but it was not like a permanent thing. Sometimes he would help either his, you know, his uncle in his business, or sometimes he would do like freelance work with his friends. Like, okay, this guy looked like, you know, he's about something. He's not just like one of them boy that just idle on the street that big people or nothing. Or so I thought, thinking, okay, he's a decent somebody, he's working his little job, he's young, you know, he has things going for himself, he has his license, he knows how to drive, you know. He really impressed me with the facade that he showed me. He used to always, his favorite line was, "Me no like sweets." For the people that don't understand, when people say they don't like sweets, like they don't like things, like they're not the type to beg things. So he would always say things like, "Me no like sweets." And the only reason he would say that is because I used to always tell him my disdain for when Jamaicans love beg. Because one thing about Jamaican people, if they don't know how to do anything, they know how to beg. They beg, like they will beg you for everything, down to the shoes on your foot, like beg. And they love beg for credit, phone credit at that. They love beg money, they love beg things. They always want you to bring down things. I don't ever think there was a time I went to Jamaica and I didn't bring down things for a family member or just, you know, people. Everybody knows how Jamaicans are. They love beg, they love, you know, they love sweets, like he would say. So that used to be his favorite line to say. And you know, I was like, okay, good, because I really don't like when niggas beg. I don't like when you beg for credit. I don't like none of that shit, because I'm not doing it. I'm not one of those. You're not gonna come beg me for my hard-earned money. Like, no. So as time went on, you know, he followed suit. And that's why I say, ladies, also never tell a man what you dislike, because men will definitely play their role until you get deep into the relationship. So if you say, oh, you don't like when your man dresses a certain way, they'll be like, okay, she doesn't like that, so let me not dress that certain way. But just give them time, because a leopard will always show its spots eventually. He definitely showed his spots very quickly. And another red flag I found out before we even got to the trip, he lied about his age. When he used to DM me and stuff, he told me that he was 24. Like I said, I was like 20 at this time, so in my head that was like perfect, because I was not into guys younger than me, because that is like a child. Like, once you're under 20, you're a child to me. That, and he lied about his age. He told me that he was 24. I later then found out that he was actually 19. So he was actually a year younger than me. That was a big red flag for me, but I did ignore the red flags because I was like, okay, it's just an age, whatever. The way he used to act very mature for his age, so it didn't really matter to me. But I should have took that, ran for the hills, because once a relationship starts out on a lie, it will end in a lie. And when I tell you, it ended up a very big lie. Fast forward to when we finally connect and I finally land in Jamaica. So for the first trip, it was a spontaneous trip. I'm not even gonna lie, guys, I did not have money like that, because during this time, like I said, I was going through a lot. Also, I was only 20, turning 21, and it was before the whole lockdown happened. February, yeah, this was February 2020, right before March 2020, when the big COVID lockdown happened. Slowly that the world was changing, and in my head I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Like, at this time it was pre-pandemic, so there was whispers going around. I knew, I was starting to hear things. I kept up to date with what was going on with this whole, COVID situation. So I knew something was in the works, but I just didn't know how serious it was going to be. I had a feeling that, something's gonna go down. So, let me just, get my little vacation on before the world shut down. I went down to Jamaica. I did also go down to St. Lucia for my birthday. So I made sure I got my little travels in before the whole lockdown came into effect. I'm gonna take this spontaneous trip, even though I just came back from St. Lucia. I'm not really, the money's not really coming in like that. Business is really slow for me. I was like, you know what, whatever I make, I'm going to make it work, and just, go down and try enjoy myself, before everything comes to shit. I planned my trip, buy my ticket, let him know, and he was like really excited. He was so excited, he's like, oh, I'm gonna get everything planned, I'm gonna get everything set up for you, I'm gonna get the rental and everything for you. I finally get to Jamaica, and just to make a long story short, me and him hit it off. We hit it off so well. We got along so well. We were really like infatuated with each other. I'll say that. I'm not gonna say love. More so infatuation. So me and him were like very infatuated with each other, and we just really hit it off. Like, I did not expect for us to get along so well and connect so well. We spoke for so long. Like, when I tell you, we literally spoke from June or July of 2019 all the way up until I came down, which was February 2020. So that's a long time of just speaking to one person. When I got down there, for the first night, I did have my own place, because he did pick me up from Montego Bay Airport, because at the time I took like one airline and they only flew down to Montego Bay Airport. So he had to basically come to Montego Bay. We spent the night there, and then the next day we decided to go down to Kingston, where he is. We finally get down to Kingston, and my eyes is all wide open, because like I said, this is gonna be like my first time actually being in Kingston as a adult. And when I say Kingston exciting bad, me love it. Excited to see, you know, what Kingston had in store for me. We finally get to, also I forgot to mention, when he came down to pick me up, he did come with his nephew and his older sister, and she was cool. She was really chill. And like I said, before even actually being around him, I did used to speak to her briefly on the phone, like when she would be around, like we would have little conversations here and there. So, you know, I knew about her. And he also had an older brother, another older brother, who also lived by the house, and I got along with both of them very well. So yeah, when he picked me up, he came with her and his nephew, and the first night was great. Everything was cool, you know, we got along very well. I finally get to his house. All I could say was wow. I know beggars can't be choosers, but I was not expecting that kind of place. I knew I put myself in a situation where, you know, I knew I didn't have that much money, and I decided to just go on this trip. But if I knew that that's the type of place he was living in, me would have never put myself in that situation. But like I said, I try not to judge people. I know not everybody is asked to be born where they are born, but I was not expecting that. So just to briefly describe his house, it literally looked like a campground. Picture of like a campground and how it looks. I will post it in my video. So each section of the house had a room. His room was closest to the section where the kitchen was, so his room was fine. It still wasn't like what I was expecting, but you know, it was fine. This place, it wasn't what I was expecting. It was very different than what I'm used to, especially when I go down to Jamaica. But I was like, okay, beggars can't be choosers, so you know, I'll work with it. But y'all, it was the bathroom for me. It was the bathroom that really had me like, wow. I'm not even gonna go too much into detail with the bathroom, but just know it was a wow. Know that you cannot walk in that bathroom with your bare feet, because who knows what would have fly up in your foot. It was something. So struggle for me when I first got there was the bathroom, because I was not used to that kind of bathroom at all. Like, I know people have struggle bathrooms in Jamaica, but that one is just wow. When I got down there, his family were cool. Like, even his mother, with all the stuff that he told me about his mother, she was super nice to me. Even though now that I know it was all an act, but at the time being, she was super nice to me, and his siblings were really nice to me, and you know, they made it, you know, sort of comfortable being there. And it was, like I said, it was a spontaneous trip. I only stayed down for like a week, so it wasn't no long trip, so I didn't have to deal with all of that for a long time. But for the time that I was there, they made it sort of comfortable for me, and I kind of just thugged it out. But during that time, like I said, it was mostly a time to just bond, like me and him to just bond, and you know, really get to know each other and see if like whatever we have going on, if it should continue or we should just, you know, cut ties after this. So it was finally time for me to leave Jamaica, and you know, it was really sad when we had to leave each other, because like I said, we were so infatuated with each other and we really hit it off. So you know, we were like, okay, I guess this is real. So I thought, continue this relationship and see just how things go. So I finally get back to my city, and you know, back to talking on the phone every day. Once I got back, I just started noticing different changes in his behavior. I guess because, you know, we finally got to be around each other and, you know, we hit it off so well. He just started really showing his true colors. So I just started noticing that he would get really jealous. Like, he was a very jealous person. If I would go out with my friends, if I would go out and do anything and not call him, he would get so upset. Like, he would literally cuss me. But that's how she is. Text down my phone, call down my phone, and if he couldn't reach me, he would find a way to contact one of my friends. Or if he couldn't reach my friends, he would like contact my mom, because like I said, he used to speak to my mom here and there. And you know, my mom, she's very protective over me, so whoever I'm talking to at the time, she's gonna make sure she has all his information, so if anything was to happen, she knows where to look for me. Yeah, he would just act really psycho, and he would always accuse me of cheating. Like, that was his favorite thing to do, of doing something, or doing something with other men, or just always doing something behind his back. My first thought when he was acting like that was, oh, I guess he just really misses me, because we got along so well that I guess, you know, he's just not used to, you know, someone just leaving, and he was having like a little bit of attachment issues. So I just okay. So yeah, he just started having this weird attitude, and then I just started noticing, like, he just started acting very disrespectful sometimes. The stuff that he would say was just really crazy, and like, he was just acting really psychotic. He would always do this like manipulation tactic on me. Like, he would always find a way to like make me feel sorry for him. He would start crying on the phone sometimes. Like, sometimes he'll just call me crying, and after a while, sometimes I just got really annoyed with it, and there would be times where I would just not speak to him for days. Never work out, because he would always, like, if I did not speak to him every day, like, he would find a way to like harass my phone or harass the people around me just to get in contact with me. He was just acting really strange, and after a while I was just really annoyed. Sometimes there would be times where I really just did not want to speak to him. I would like block him for days so I didn't have to hear from him, or how he wants to hurt himself. Even one time I tried to cut him off. He sent me a video of him like cutting himself, and he had like blood on his finger, and he would just do a lot of crazy things just to play with my emotions. So I would always eventually talk back to him. From I saw those signs, I should have ran and never looked back, but I just continued feeding into the toxicity, and it just became a thing where we would just always be back and forth. So months go by, you know, we have our, you know, good days, we have our bad days, but we're still together. He finally tells me that his brother wants to get him a car. Why his brother wanted to get him a car is because he wanted to start a taxi business. One of the best businesses to have, because it's so needed, especially in Kingston. There's so much people need taxi every day, so you know, it would have been a good lucrative business for him to do. just to, you know, help, you know, take care of himself and also help take care of his family. So being the supportive girlfriend that I was so happy for him. Like, I was encouraging him. I was like, yes babe, you can finally do what you gotta do, you know, I'm so happy for you. And I was even giving him ideas what to do once he gets a car. I told him, you know, he could even be a private taxi driver for like tourism, once he gets the car. And you know, he just, like I said, my ex was like a very good talker. And you know, he would always say yes, 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 and oh yeah, he's gonna do this and that. And as time went on, I realized he wasn't doing shit like that. But let's not jump too quick into things. I was like so happy for him to get this car. So he finally gets the car. He gets the paperwork, insurance, all that stuff for the car. So me thinking once he got the car, things should be good. You know, he has a car now, he could just start working. The car was supposed to be like a blessing, right? Because you know, once you have a car, you could do a lot of things. Especially in Jamaica, having a car is like a golden ticket. But in his case, that car was the biggest crisis. That car was a problem. And the first problem was the fact that his mother, from this boy got the car, the woman did not wish this boy any good. Her main goal was to get this car taken away from him. It was like she just bad-minded her son. Imagine your own mother is bad-minding you because you finally have something to help you and your family make money. So just her negative energy alone just ushered in a whole bunch of other negative stuff happening. Taxi, he was not doing what he was supposed to do. He just started using the car to just drive around, show off, go all over the place. And then there would be times where the car would break down. And when I say, the boy literally got the car within a month and he already got a flat tire. In my mind, I could not understand, because having this car was supposed to be a blessing, and it literally turned into a nightmare because it was always something dealing with this car, and I couldn't understand why. In the beginning, we used to always talk. Even after I came back, you know, we were still always talking. But after a while, I just noticed he started moving very shady once he got this car. Yeah. Now I'm starting to see a different side to him. Like, I was already starting to see little things that he would do, but he really started to show his ass once he got this car. Said everybody already knows how a Jamaican man stay, and you know, I try to not put nothing past nobody. I'm never the type of person or girlfriend to, you know, put nothing past a man, because like at the end of the day, a man is gonna be a man. So when he started showing his ass, I was like, okay, cool. So now guys, here is where the problems really start. And my ex was he was a different character. He's a very different character. He always knew the right things to say. He always knew how to always get back into my good graces. So, and also because I reached a point where I didn't take anything he said personally. I realized to just let him do him, because at the end of the day, it was a long distance relationship, and he is miles away, and he is Jamaican. So in my head, in the back of my head, I always knew not to fully trust him, and he knew I never fully trusted him. So whatever he told me or whatever he tells me, I used to just take it with a grain of salt. First started like my YouTube channel, and my YouTube channel started slowly growing, And after I got back from that Jamaica trip, that was one of my first Jamaica vlogs. And if you guys are OGs, you guys remember that vlog. That was actually one of the first vlogs I had on my channel, and that video actually helped my channel grow into what it is now. So just seeing how much that one video, you know, helped my channel grow, I was really excited to see like what was next in the future. So in my head I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to start going to Jamaica more. I'm gonna have to start doing more vlogs, especially the next time I go to Jamaica, because, you know, obviously this people like seeing this, and a lot of people really enjoyed the vlog that I put out. So, you know, I'm just really excited and stuff, and, you know, ready to, you know, plan my next trip. I knew that I wanted to do something for my birthday, right? And my birthday is in December, when we have Christmas and we have New Year's. So in my head I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to plan a trip to Jamaica for a month, because who goes to Jamaica for a week in December? My birthday is like on the 10th, so in my head I was like, might as well just stay for a whole month. And it's also cheaper, like flight wise. The longer you stay in a country, the cheaper the ticket. So I was like, you know, why not? But before this trip even happened, y'all, I started noticing even more weird behavior coming from my ex. This is when he really started acting strange. I was very, very, very curious about his actions. He would just disappear for like a day and then reappear the next day and act like nothing happened. Only time he would like try and contact me is when he would see me out with people, because like I said, he was a very jealous person. So anytime he would see me out with my friends or anything, that's when he felt like he could just pop back up. Not only was he acting weird, I started noticing weird girls watching my stories on Instagram. And obviously I knew it was coming from his end, because I could just look at certain girls' profiles and know that they're not, you know, they're not from here. There was one specific girl that I would always see watching my stuff, and like she would always be like the first person to watch my stuff, and I was like, that's very strange. By her look, the way she looked and stuff, I'm like, I feel like this might be, you know, maybe a girl that he used to talk to, or maybe he's currently talking to her, because, you know, the way she looked like somebody that he would, you know, talk to. You know, do you know this girl and stuff? And he would always like deny it, or he would try to downplay it, or act like, oh no, that person is just a friend, or whatever. So in my mind, I already had my suspicion. When he would tell me whatever he wanted to tell me, I just knew it was full of shit. But whatever is done in the dark must come to light, no? So I just let him continue with his lies, because I know eventually, you know, the truth will reveal itself. So like I said, I was so, you know, caught up with my whole YouTube growing, my business growing. Everything was just really going well for me. So whatever stuff that he was doing, you know, whatever shady things he was doing, it really didn't matter to me, because I was so distracted by like all the positivity that was surrounding me, that I really just didn't care. And I still was like, you know, I'm still planning this trip, because, you know, it's my birthday trip, and I know these vlogs will definitely, you know, help my channel grow. So like I said, for my OGs that remember me putting up these vlogs, you guys will remember my birthday trip. and even the pictures. I will try to insert the pictures of my birthday and how I looked and how we both looked on my birthday. So once I got down to Jamaica, I got down actually a day before my actual birthday. The day I landed, you know, like I said, every time we are around each other, everything's always good. But this time when I got down there, I just felt this very strange energy coming from him, seeing how they were before. But I just was like, you know what, I'm going to keep the positive energy. I'm going to keep a positive mindset because it is my birthday and nobody's going to ruin my birthday, period. Not only did things change between us, Jamaica was just overall very different, because at this time Jamaica was going through lockdown and curfew. Because of curfew, a lot of things changed. We weren't able to do the things that we used to. We weren't able to go to the parties because, if you guys know, most of the time in Jamaica, parties keep until like 4-5 o'clock in the morning, until daylight, and all that had to stop. Like, curfew, I think at this time was like 9-10 o'clock. Just a very different vibe. So the things that we were able to do last time, we weren't really able to do this time. So for my birthday, I wanted to originally like go out to eat and, like, you know, do something, and then, you know, come back to the place that we're staying at. He then made a suggestion that, you know, I'd rather just throw you a birthday party at the house. Yeah, the tenement yard, the little house that them have. Yeah, he wanted me to throw a party there. I was like, okay, because the way his house was set up, he had a pretty large space, like a pretty large yard. It could hold a lot of people, and his family, they love to, you know, have parties and events at his house and stuff, balloons, get drinks or whatever, so we could have like this little party at the house. So I was like, okay, cool, let's do that. I ended up getting my nails done like the day I landed to Jamaica, and then the next day I ended up getting my makeup done. I will insert pictures here so you guys can see everything and how it looked. So fast forward to my actual party. I finally get there, everything's set up. It was nice of his mother, regardless of, like, you know, the relationship he had between his mother. She was very nice to me. Got along with her actually very well, even though like I said, I realized she's a fake asshole, but me and her got along very well, regardless of the relationship that he had between her. Me and her got along very well, and I also got along really well with his siblings that lived there. I pretty much got along with everybody. Also, to mention, I got along very well with his father. I don't know if I mentioned that too, guys. I did meet his father. Actually, the first trip when I came down there, I met his father, and like every time I would come down there, I would always visit his father. And also his mother and father, they, like, well, mostly his mother could not stand his father. His mother hated his father with a passion. Okay, guys, you could not even mention this man's name around this lady because she would literally cuss. And that was also a big reason into why she kind of treated him the way she treated him. He reminded her of his father, and I feel like she had so much venom for my ex's father that she ended up just spitting the venom on him, and that's what really caused both of them to just always butt heads all the time. So whatever, besides the point. Even though I had the party and stuff, and I was really appreciative of his mother setting this up for me at that party, and when I got to the party, I noticed a lot of people. Like, I knew he was going to invite people because, you know, a lot of people knew him. My ex had a lot of, you know, friends and stuff, so I knew he was gonna invite a lot of people. But there was a lot of women at this party, like a lot of women at this party. Even from the few times I did come down there, he always introduced me to, you know, most of his friends. And at this party, I did not see many friends that I could actually recognize, and that was a little alarming to me. Today is my birthday, so I'm not gonna let I'm not gonna let anything ruin my day. But there was a very I just had this very weird feeling being there, but I just really didn't say anything. I tried to enjoy the moment as much as I could. So, you know, my birthday party was, I guess, a success. Literally, my birthday was probably the last day I enjoyed on that trip, because everything after that went downhill. So literally the next day, we ended up going out later in the night. I had my purse with me or whatever. My ex suggested that, you know, put my purse inside the car because, you know, it's not safe to have your purse, especially if you're a woman. It's not safe to walk around with your purse and stuff because people will literally pull up on a bike and like grab your purse from you. I put my purse inside the car, and he locks the car, and that's it. We go and do whatever we're doing, and, you know, I think everything's cool. Kind of left me with one of his friends, his group of friends, because like I was cool with them. Like, I met them previously, like on the other, like when I came down there before. He did introduce me. Like I said, my ex ended up introducing me to everybody. Like, I literally met his whole entire family. I met all his friends. So I was cool with these people. I didn't know who was who, so he knew he could leave me with certain people and I'll be good. He said he had to go somewhere with his friend and then he was gonna come back. So he then comes back, and, you know, everything's chill. The next day after that night, he leaves me in the morning. He says he has to do something for somebody. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll just stay in the house, because at this time I think I was editing my birthday vlog, so I could post it on, you know, my YouTube channel. And, oh, can you bring me back some breakfast, or can you bring me back lunch when you come back, because, you know, I don't know, at this time I think it was like probably 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning. So I wasn't sure when he was gonna be done, but I know by the time he was done I was probably gonna be hungry. So I was like, oh babe, can you bring me back something? So he's like, yeah, cool. You know, I'm editing my video or whatever, and something tell me to just look into my bank account. I don't know if it was the Holy Spirit or what, but something told me to look at my bank account, and that's exactly what I did. Regardless of whatever money I have, I always have to monitor my spending, because I am a spendaholic, and I like to just, you know, sometimes I like to spend without, you know, really budgeting myself. And for those that don't know, Jamaica can be very expensive. So even if you have $1 million, you'll probably come back home broke, because Jamaica is very costly. And I was also in Kingston, so it's even more expensive because it is the city. So, you know, I always monitor my spending, and I like to always, you know, watch my money. And when I look at my account, I notice like $50 missing. Okay, I don't see anything where my bank might have took out money or anything, so I'm like, why is $50 missing from my account? I can't call my bank teller or anything, so I had to get my mother to call for me stuff. So, you know, I text my mom and I'm like, oh, can you call my bank for me, because I know this money is missing. At first in my head I was like, okay, maybe they charge me, maybe they charge me for using, like, taking out a certain amount of money abroad. I'm trying to think any scenario, because in my head I'm like, there's no way, like, there's no way this boy would like take out money from me, because like I said, remember how I told y'all his grandmother used to always say how he always was responsible and she could always trust him with managing her money. The other times I would come down to Jamaica, he was that person. Like, if it wasn't either, like, I also had the PIN code and like the information to his bank account and stuff, so that is probably that's the only reason why, you know, I was like, okay, you know, he could have like the PIN just to get into my checkings, because I have a checkings and a savings, and I also have a credit card into my savings, into my checkings. And sometimes I would let him, you know, draw out the money for me if I really needed it, because sometimes I just didn't feel like it. I really didn't feel like going to the bank and taking out money. So yes, I know some people are like, you should never give anybody your bank information. Yes guys, I know. I had the information to all his stuff, and it's not like I put all my money in my checkings. I'm smart enough to know not to ever put all my money in my checkings, but I just had enough trust in him because I've been around him so much. Like, we literally were together for a while now, so I had enough trust in him to know that, like, well, to what, from what I thought I know, but to know that, you know, he wouldn't, you know, cross me like that. So my mother decides to call the bank, and they tell her that $50 was drawn from an ATM machine in Kingston, Jamaica, quickly. So my mom ends up calling me back, and she is cussing because she's like, yeah, $50 was drawn at this time in Kingston. Remember how I told y'all he disappeared for a little while because he said he was going to do something with his friends, and I left my purse in the car. So that same time he went and disappeared, it was to go and draw out money off of my card in the nights. Remember how the boy said how he don't like sweets, right? That used to be his favorite line. He don't like sweets and don't like big, all these things. But he decides to disrespect me and break my trust and go take my card and draw out money off of my account. It's so sneaky, because how are you gonna tell me to put my purse in the car so you could go and do that? Me hear that, I am furious. Like, I wanna literally rip off someone's head right now, because to me that is the most disrespectful thing you could do. Really, when it comes to, you know, money and man, like, I don't play those games. Like, I'm really not one of those girls. Like, you know, if I have it, I'll make sure everybody's good. If I want to spend money, I'm not just gonna buy something for myself. Like, if, like, even when I was around his family, there was never a time we were all out and I just bought something for myself. I would always buy something for everybody. Even within coming down to Jamaica, I would always bring down things for people. I would always bring down things for his mother, his sister, his brother, everybody, because that's just the type of person I am. For me, for you to disrespect me so bad and literally steal money from me, because that's what you call stealing. Like, you're outright stealing money from me. Is like, it was really, really hurtful, and my head just started going so bad. So I'm here waiting for his ass, waiting for him to come back to this house so I could light his ass on fire. Making people love to take foreign people for idiot, but he was not gonna take this girl for idiot. So when he finally decides to come back to the house now, I go in on his ass. Like, when I say I am cussing up a storm, me I cuss the boy, I cuss him stink, because to me, he just broke my trust right there. I knew within myself that I like this, whatever we have going on might not last for a very long time. I trust that's it. There's no coming back from it. Did his, you know, usual sulking and apologizing, and, you know, tried to act like he was so sorry about what he did and this and that, but I was not hearing it. And I was like, you better get my money by tonight, because I'm not playing with you. And that's exactly what he did. But after that, I definitely did not trust him, and anything that came out of his mouth was a lie. So if you guys think that was the worst, no, there was way more to come. Like I said, after my birthday, everything went downhill. So usually around this time, his family, they always have their yearly celebration where most of his family members come down and they do like their yearly, you know, family get-togethers and all types of stuff. So even before his family came down, we were just arguing constantly. There was never a day that passed by that me and this boy weren't arguing. Because of him. He would always just want to fight. Like, he would argue, he would always just start cussing. Like, he was just a really angry person, and because of that, he was making me a really angry person, and I did not like the person that I was becoming being around him. Really miserable. And I'm really not a miserable person. If people that personally know me know that I'm a very happy spirited person, and I try to stay as positive as I can. And not only was he arguing with me constantly, he was arguing with his mother. I already had a very toxic relationship, but it just kept getting worse. Like, there was one day when they got in such a big fight outside, and he literally told his mother to drop down and did. He told his own mother to drop down and did. It was like, that is when I was like, yeah, this guy is losing it. I don't even know what to do at this point. Cut my trip short. Even my mom told me, like, I think you should, you know, cut your trip short, because the way he was acting was unbelievable. And also, I forgot to tell y'all, like, this is very important stuff. Even my mom was not the biggest fan of his. She literally tolerated him because of the stuff that he would tell us. Like I said, me and him used to talk like every day, and just by the stuff that he would tell us, and, you know, the things he would tell us about his family life and his mother, the relationship between his mother, I felt sympathy for him, because she knew what it was like growing up with like a toxic mother, and, you know, she knew the struggles of like having a really toxic parent. So towards him, they would, you know, she understand where he was coming from. But for me, she didn't feel he was like a good suit for me. That's why I say, ladies, a lot of times we need to listen to our parents. My mom would always tell me, like, I think you should just cut this boy off. I don't think he's good for you. And, you know, I just always found myself talking back to him. And at this point, I really just felt like I was just in too deep into the relationship, because like I said, when it first started out, it was not supposed to be what it was. He was just supposed to be my little Jamaican boyfriend, but it then turned into like a serious relationship. As time went on, I realized I should have really listened to my mother, because the boy turned into a whole beast. I think you should just come home. But you know, I was like, I spent so much money already. I had plans to be on this trip for business purposes, and to also help with my YouTube, and you know, to vlog and just do stuff. So in my head, I was like, I was just already in too deep in this trip that it's pointless to just turn back now. And me and him were arguing every day. He was literally arguing with the whole house. Him and his sister got into it. Him and his mother got into it. Like literally, when I say this boy was a straight out beast, arguments between me and him just wouldn't stop. It was like continuous, and it became a thing where he was even arguing with me in front of people. And one thing about me, I don't like embarrassment. I'm never one of those people to argue with nobody, no friend, nobody in public, because I find it very disgusting and distasteful and embarrassing all the time. And I found we used to argue in front of people, and it was like he just always wanted crowd. Like he was one of those people, like when he is upset, he wanted the whole world to hear how upset he was. Like he wants the whole world to know his business. He wants everybody to know that we're in an argument, because I'm not that type of person. I'm a very to myself type of person. I was very quiet, and you know, I just don't like my business being there on Front Street. And for that reason, it really made me start to despise him. And another thing he was starting to do, he would disappear. He would disappear for hours at a time, and you know, kind of just leave me with either his friends or his family. And because we got in so much arguments, I really didn't care. People would have been like, well, he's obviously out there doing stuff. At this point, I didn't even care. I just wanted to stay away from him, because every time I seen him, every time we were together, we were always arguing. So I honestly didn't care if he was out there doing stuff at this point. And here is when I should have took my mom's foolish advice and listened. We decided to get a place in Portmore. I wasn't ready to go like stay around his family. Let's get a place in Portmore for the week or whatever, because the original plan, that's another thing, like I said, my ex was a good talker. He would always tell me all types of stuff. He would always say yes, 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 and when the time came, it was no, no, no. To find like a rental spot for the month that I was staying there. And he promised me that, you know, he had friends that had, you know, property that, you know, we could stay at for a month. When it was finally time for me to come down, there was no place. It's hot because it's Christmas time, it's holiday time, everybody's down in Jamaica. So to find a rental or find a place is very difficult, especially for the price that we were looking for. Stay in little different Airbnbs or different places, but without breaking my pockets, because like I said, Jamaica gets very expensive. We had a place in Portmore, and we're there for the week. There, the arguments are still continuing. At this point, it just got too out of hand. So I think the argument that really just clarified to me that this relationship was most likely over was got to Portmore. I think we were like probably 3 days in at this place in Portmore. I didn't realize that he didn't bring his toothbrush with him. Yes, guys, you guys are probably like, what the hell, what kind of nastiness is this? So I realized that he didn't have his toothbrush with him, because when I looked in the bathroom, I only saw my toothbrush. So in my head, I'm like, so where's your toothbrush? He forgot it. So in my head, I'm like, so how you been brushing your teeth all this time? He's like, I've been using your toothbrush. When I tell you, I wanted to throw up. Tell me, yeah, I use my toothbrush for. So you're telling me this whole time, 3 days in, we've been in Portmore, you've been using my toothbrush to brush your teeth? So I obviously get very upset because that is so disgusting. That is gross. You're using my toothbrush to brush your teeth? He used to smoke cigarettes sometimes. He was a cigarette smoker, yes. So even more, I do not want to share my toothbrush with you. So who tell me to tell the boy that? Who tell me to tell the boy not to use my toothbrush? When I say this guy threw a whole fit, he was so upset because I told him not to use my toothbrush. So obviously I'm going back and forth with him. We're going back and forth. But after a while, and this was early in the morning, guys. This was very early in the morning. So my brain is not even processing the day yet. It's been days where we were arguing. Like, we were arguing for days. So I was just so tired of the arguments. I was like, you know what? Done. It's done. It's done. Like, I don't want to argue with you anymore. This boy is still arguing with me constantly. Like, constantly arguing with me over this toothbrush. Not so bad, we left the house and we were still arguing over the toothbrush. The whole day, us arguing back and forth. He just keeps telling people, oh, how much I scorn him and this and that, and it out causing a big scene just because of this toothbrush situation. So he brings me down to his mother's house, and you know, he's still arguing because of course he loves attention and he always wanted people in the argument, telling her literally like what happened with the whole toothbrush situation. And he's still like trying to justify why he used my toothbrush. And even his mother was like, but how can you use someone's toothbrush like that? Nobody would want you to use their toothbrush. Here, like, he just felt he was right and he had every right to be mad at me. I just went in the room and like just laid my head down because I couldn't deal with the argument. I just wanted him to go away. I ended up staying by his mom's house for a little bit while he was doing whatever he was doing, and he finally comes back hours later. So another thing my ex loved to do was anytime he pissed me off, he would always like to come back and, you know, do that whole makeup thing, and, you know, act like nothing happened. But I was really just disgusted in his behavior and how he was acting. I didn't want him touching me. I didn't want him around me. And, you know, that then made him upset because he came back thinking that, okay, we cooled off after a few hours, we could go back to, you know, being lovey-dovey as usual. I still don't like you. I still don't like you. I still don't want to talk to you, so leave me alone. So because of that, he started all over again. We're heading back to the house in Portmore, and he was like going off in the car. I decided to cuss his ass straight out. I decided to start cuss this boy. I'm cussing him like no holding back. Like, I'm straight out dissing him, like cussing his ass. I'm cussing him about him taking money from my card. I'm cussing him about the toothbrush. I'm cussing him about everything. Like, so while I'm cussing him off, he decides to start swerving the car. Y'all know Portmore. Y'all know there's a lot of dark roads, and the place that we were at was close to Hellshire. So to get to Hellshire, there's like this very dark road that you have to go on. They're swerving and curving on the dark road. I'm here panicking because I don't want to lose my life. Like, for what? And he straight out tells me, you know, since you don't want me, nobody will have you. So I'm there in panic mode. Like, I'm actually freaking out. Like, I'm here bawling my eyes out because I'm like, I don't want to lose my life like this. Like, this is not how, you know, I want to lose my life. I get out. Like, I even started praying. Like, I just wanted to get away from him so much because I'm like, wow, this boy is really gonna just take my life like this. And he just starts laughing. Like, he's laughing, hysterically laughing. Like, he thinks it's funny. And like, I just look at him with like the most disgust. Like, I had such disgust on my face just looking at. So he then stops like playing around, and we finally get to the house in Portmore. After all that craziness on the road, him swerving on the road, us cussing, fighting, everything, you would think it would be done, but no, guys, it wasn't done. It was not over. Get to the house, I go in the room and lay my head down because it's been a long day of arguing over a toothbrush. He continues to harass me, he continues to bother me. He just would not leave me alone. Just got so sick of him. Like, I just wanted him to get away. And he knew I wanted him to get away. So to just bother me even more, he decides to put his hand on my neck, start to choke me and tell me that I don't love him and that I never loved him. I'm there literally trying to take his hands off of me. Like, I'm fighting him. Like, get your hands off of me. Pushing him off of me. And he keeps trying to choke me. I go in the living room and I'm like, can you just leave me alone, please? Like, just leave me alone. Like, I really don't want to do this with you. I really just want to go to my bed. He had a pin. He had a pin next to him. And I noticed he kept coming closer to me with the pin, and he was like holding it at the side. He kept walking closer to me, trying to poke me with this pin. ID was up 1,000. Like, I couldn't believe what this man was doing to me. And I literally I was in the house trying to walk away from him. Like, I went from the bedroom to the living room to the living room to the bedroom just to get away from him, and he just would not leave me alone. Bedroom, I tell this man, leave me alone. I just want to sleep. I just want to sleep. I'm done arguing with you. Okay, you want to use my toothbrush, fine. Like, at this point, I don't even care about the toothbrush. I just want you to leave me alone. At this point, I just want you to leave me alone. I don't care about the whole toothbrush. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. He decides to close the bedroom door and take off his belt. So he takes off his belt, and in my head, I was like, this boy is bright and very bright. If he thinks he's gonna beat me with his belt, he has another thing coming to him. So once I see him take off this belt, I don't know what got into me, but I was like, you know what? So I decided to grab the belt, like straight out grab the belt from him, and he was not expecting that. And when I tell you, I turned the belt around, like not even on the leather part, I turned it around on the buckle part of the belt. Started to swat this man, like straight out bust this man in his face. Like, I was swatting him in his face, I was swatting him on his body. Like, when I say I started beating him, I started beating him good. So he then tries to jump onto me and take the belt from me. I decide to just kick him on the floor. Then we're literally there on the floor tussling. Like, I'm punching him, he's trying to come at me, we're going at it, like literally fighting, like physically fighting. I can't believe, like, I really couldn't believe that this is what it has come to, like over a toothbrush. Imagine a toothbrush is causing all of this chaos, and then I'm like, this is what you wanted. I'm like literally cutting him. I'm like, this is what you wanted, this is what you wanted, right? I just stopped because I was like, I was just done. I was tired, I was weak, I was done. So he gets up and is like, okay, I'm getting a knife. Guys, when I say it, my heart started pounding. I was so scared. It's funny and joking around about it, but when I say I was scared, like I want to shit myself. Like, when the man said knife, I said, what? I wait on the door so he couldn't bust open the door, and he was like literally fighting me to open the door, and I had to like push, like actually put all my weight on that door, and he still was able to like bust the door open. Shit, this is an Airbnb, like we can't be mashing up these people's Airbnb. So I'm there trying to like not mash up the door, because the way he was like pushing it, like he wanted to mash up the door, and I was not having it. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let him bust open the door, I don't care. I jump over the bed, like I literally jump over the bed, and my phone was charging at the time, because I don't even know when I got the chance to charge my phone, but I charged my phone, and I jumped over the bed, like literally jumped over the bed, and I started dialing my mother. I started calling my mother. She answers, and I'm like literally bawling my eyes out, telling my mom like, he has a knife, he has a knife, he has a knife. And my mom's like freaking out. I called her earlier telling her what happened about the whole toothbrush situation, and my mom was already like, you know, she wanted me like gone. She didn't even want me there with him, but I was like, you know, everything's fine. And she was like, okay. So obviously in her head she's thinking the situation died out, and you know, me and him were good. But when she started hearing me bawling, freaking out, talking about the boy have a knife, obviously my mom's going in panic mode. Once I get her on the phone, that's when he runs into the room and has like this butcher knife, aim it towards me, and I'm telling him like, no. I had to like hold his arm. I'm like, no. I say, guys, like I try so hard not to remember that night, but like I still to this day have flashbacks of that night. I'm holding onto the knife now, like take it out, like open my hand so I could like let go of the knife. And my mom's like yelling at him on the phone. He eventually, you know, puts down the knife. Well, he takes it out of my hand, and you know, he drops it. Then he decides to just sit on the floor in the hallway, where the room, like across from the room. And my mom's like freaking out. She doesn't know what to do. She called his mother, and his mother's automatic reaction was to call the police. My mom literally had to stop her from calling the police. She called the police, it would not end well for him. And my mom, even though regardless of the situation, my mom did not want him to end up in jail, because Jamaica jail is not nice, and he was young. We were both young. If he went to jail, that would have been it for him. So please, you know, he just calmed down, you know, talk to him, that's it. My mom basically stopped his own mother to call police on her own son, which she's done plenty of times, so it's nothing new coming from her. My mother, whose child was in harm, who was in danger, prevented his mother from calling the police on him. My mom is there on the phone talking to me, and I have her on speaker, and he's sitting in the hallway, so he could obviously hear what she's saying. I'm telling her like, I don't know what's wrong with him, like I don't know like why he's acting like this. I told her like he's just changed, like he's not the same person that I met before, like he's a whole different person now, like all you can do is just pray for him. And he's hearing all this stuff because like he's sitting right there, so he's hearing all this stuff that she's saying and he has nothing to say. So y'all, my throat dry right now, so I will cut the story at this point. I said I will be breaking up this story into 3 parts because it is a long story and a lot has happened. If you guys, you know, enjoyed this part 1 of the ex-boyfriend from hell, let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I will try my best not to disappear again, and start, you know, pushing out new content for y'all. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So yeah guys, that is the end of my video. I will see you guys in my next one. Stay safe and stay blessed. Bye y'all.